You know, we have an immense amount of choices in healthcare. It's mind-boggling, really. And why do we have so many different choices? I mean, you can go to medical doctor and then a ton of other specialties that are medical doctors, but like, oh, I'm an orthopedist, or I'm a gastroenterologist, or I'm the hangnail guy, or whatever it is. And you can see a chiropractor, an acupuncturist, naturopath. You can see a nurse practitioner, sometimes on her own, sometimes at a medical doctor's office, a physician's assistant at a medical doctor's office, counselors, psychologists, psychiatrists, which is back to this. There's an endless number of different kinds of specialists and care providers that you can see. And it can really be kind of maddening sometimes. The reason is that everyone helps someone to some degree, but when you're trying to make a choice, this information doesn't help. You need to have some kind of an underlying sense of how to make that choice, what to look for, what to do, and that sort of thing. And I'm going to get into that here. The reason we have so many choices is everything is so interconnected. Our body is such a complex web of different systems and different functions that are all interconnected. We've got your acupuncture system that runs over the entire body and is kind of a control and coordination system that's kind of an operating system behind the scenes, something you don't even see. Whereas like our nervous system is a system that we have control over some of. I want to move my arms, I want to do stuff, I want to breathe in and out, I want to talk, whatever. There's toxins that we need to work on and getting rid of on a regular basis, especially because they're in our air and our water and our food. Nutrition is this enormous category. Allergies, emotion, structure, and like I said, it's all interconnected. Your nutrition is highly associated with if allergies present themselves, and then your nutrition and emotion are heavily interconnected. The things that you eat can affect depression, anxiety, Alzheimer's disease, all sorts of different emotion stuff. Have you ever been in a situation where you ate something and you just felt like, oh my gosh, that made me feel horrible in a lot of different ways. If you eat that kind of stuff on a regular basis, you're going to feel horrible on a regular basis. And eventually, and some people don't even notice it, it's such a subtle change. Eventually, you're in a situation where you're like, why am I so tired and depressed all the time? But your acupuncture system and structure interrelated, emotions and structure. If there's somebody on the other side of the door that was completely depressed, they'd be like this. If there's somebody on the other side of the door and you were about to open it and they were so excited, they'd be like this. Structure and emotion are highly interconnected. Toxins and nutrition, this is a huge connection. Acupuncture and nutrition, it gets extremely complex because every provider helps everything some. You can go to a psychologist or a psychiatrist or a counselor and they'll help your back pain in some cases. Or you can go to a chiropractor and they help your mood in some cases. Or you can go to a medical doctor and they'll help some things in some cases. But what's really important, I think that's so vital, is that you look for a holistic doctor, somebody who takes a holistic approach, because if they're a one-trick pony, then they're in a situation where they're not going to be able to help you holistically. Now, you might feel better temporarily, like a medication that blocks your body's natural production of whatever, and you need to not rely on that sort of thing on a regular basis. If you're taking medications such as diabetes medications long term, like I'm going to take this stuff the rest of my life, then you're really barking up the wrong tree if you're trying to be healthy. Not a good approach. The same thing for antidepressants and the same thing for heart medication. And sometimes, don't get me wrong, medications are necessary, especially I need to get over this situation in the short term so I can work on my health in the long term. Great, great. Take them and take the advice of your physician if he's giving you those medications. But if you're asking them, hey, how can I work on getting off of these? Or how can I work on lessening these? Because medications tend to go up and not down as you get older. Well, if your doctor's like, oh, there's no way, you just have to keep taking more and more and more for it to be effective. You might want to look for someone else that can help you better. You've probably all heard these kind of things. Oh, here's your prescription for diabetes, but I don't have time to talk to you about your diet right now. I got to move on to the next patient. Or, hey, that side effect's really, really rare. It's probably not associated with the medication that you took. Or we've all heard this one. It's 100% safe and effective. Yeah, right. Supplements just give you expensive pee. I had a medical doctor who told one of my patients that. Obviously, blatantly false when you really look at the research. I mean, there's tons of research out on vitamins now that shows that it is pretty much vital when it comes to how our diets are in America today. Or I had a long conversation with a pharmacist, and he wouldn't take anything that wasn't approved by the FDA. He wouldn't even take vitamin C because it wasn't approved by the FDA. Crazy approach. The FDA doesn't even approve vitamins. Well, man, then I'm not taking that stuff. Not a good approach. Look for somebody who is holistic in their approach to your health so that you can benefit from all of this interconnection that goes on, and you're in a situation where everything helps everything instead of everything tearing down everything.